Hello, this video is for the golden expression didactic message and how we can see its use in A Christmas Carol. First of all, didactic message. That just means a moral or educational purpose to a text. Not just telling a story, edifying the author's own opinion. At first, we see Scrooge presented as having no care nor consideration for the fate of the poor. This can be seen in stave 1 with Scrooge's dismissal of the charity collectors, as well as his abhorrent treatment of his own employee, Bob Cratchit. When the charity collectors ask Scrooge for financial assistance for the poor and destitute, who would likely end up in prisons or workhouses or dead, Scrooge replies, "If they would rather die, they had better do it, and decrease the surplus population." I've just copied this quote down here and I've annotated a few key features. First of all, I've said that the they refers to the poor or the people in need, the people in Scrooge's own life, the ones he can choose to help if he wants to, but doesn't. And if they would rather die, we can see this as violent, aggressive, and ultimately cruel. Remember, we are not supposed to align with the views of Scrooge in stave 1. If they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. The phrase surplus population is often aligned with Thomas Malthus, who was a Victorian economic. He believed that there was mass starvation that was inevitable for the poor as the population grew. So I've just made that note down on this page here. Scrooge is presented having no care nor consideration. Scrooge's views align with Thomas Malthus, a divisive Victorian economist who spoke of the inevitability of the starvation of the poor. Now, when we get into stave 3, the ghost of Christmas present throws back Scrooge's words in his own face. When Scrooge asks if Tiny Tim will survive, the spirit responds with, "If he be like to die, he had better do it and decrease the surplus population." Scrooge hung his head to hear his own words quoted by the spirit and was overcome with penitence and grief. I've just made a couple of annotations on this one for you. Scrooge was overcome with penitence and grief. Penitence means seeking forgiveness for a sin. So it's quite interesting that Scrooge's new expression, his new feeling, is that he has committed a sin and now he wishes to be forgiven for that. And of course the term grief, the loss and sorrow at losing a loved one. Ironic really when we talk about the poor dying in stave 1 and how Scrooge is all for that, and now he is expressing penitence and grief towards his previous comments. This clearly shows a growth in Scrooge. The changed Scrooge refutes Malthus's original views. So Dickens shows that Scrooge has matured. Scrooge has come further than he once was. And this is Dickens' own didactic message, his own feeling about the poor.